How's it going, everybody? What's going on? We made it here. We got four of us again. And do we have Eric? Yeah, we got Eric.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, we got it. I just want to make sure everyone's audio working. I hear Scott
Yep,
coughing, and
I'm here.
there you go. Yes, we're late. We're late again. Yes, we're always late. That was all my fault. More technical issues, as I'm not used to doing this, even though I should be doing this for a while. But let's see. We don't have anybody in. Oh yeah, we got Jim's Astro in. Jim showed up,
Yep.
um, and looks like we got three concurrent viewers. That's probably all you three.
Yeah,
And
pretty
No, I'm
much.
not. I don't have it up.
now you know what I gotta do, and I gotta do better with this. And I got two apologies to start off with tonight. The first one is an apology to Scott, and he
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
know that. Yeah, so apparently, about I guess 6 months ago, um, we were had a little sci-fi tangent. We were talking about a Star Trek episode called Darmok,
Yeah.
and in Lower Decks, the cartoon version of Star Trek, one of the people from the planet is on it, and I made me look and think, and I was mistaken. So Scott, you were actually right. Darmok is not the lead character that was playing. That was Dathan, and I got
Hmm.
yelled at by a couple of people. You were right. I was wrong. I just want to throw it out there. So yeah, Dathan and Picard at Eladrel. I looked it up. It was you were right.
Yeah.
So I apologize about that. That's the first thing. Um, oh, I I guess the second one doesn't matter. I just completely forgot about it. So that was a um, so, so
Wasn't that important?
this
It was
just
probably a lot
gets
better, not that important.
yeah, this just gets worse as you get older. I'm telling you, it's a fleeting moments. Those moments of clarity become few and far between. So,
Dude, you,
um,
you should start you should start playing Sudoku or something and keeping some freaking memory games.
no, I just got to remember to take the Prevagen. That's what I got to do. That's what
Is
you
that
know,
that stuff? Is that stuff that's like from
the
jellyfish?
jellyfish memory enhancer. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. That's exactly what it is. Hey, it's
Gosh.
proven. It's on TV and it's on the news, so it's got to be true. So,
Uh, oh yeah. What's ever on the
Oh
news is
yeah.
always true. Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, everything,
So,
everything on the
Perfect to use in
mainstream
conjunction
media is
for your
always
essential
true.
oils.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
right.
know,
TV.
right?
But you know what? It came back to me. I just remembered the second apology. My apology is for the everybody that has been watching the show that hasn't been watching it on YouTube.
Huh?
To our Twitch watchers, to our Facebook watchers. I opened up the chat the other day, um, and I have this thing called Restream Chat where it kind of builds all the text messages and chats into one platform. And because most of our viewers are on YouTube, I've been not turning on the chat box for the other
Shame on
platforms.
you.
Yeah, so there was about 7 or 8 people on platforms other than YouTube that were throwing messages that didn't get their questions answered. So I just wanted to apologize to everybody. I got it settled now. We're going to be good. So if you're on Facebook, you're on Twitch, you're on any other social media platform besides YouTube, I'm watching the chat right now. I got my double monitors all set up.
Let me
So
ask you this then, real
yeah,
quick. So Dan, if you have this restream, right,
yeah.
and are you getting and you're getting questions, is there a way that you can save those questions? So maybe, like on our Friday show or something like that,
Yeah.
we could bring those questions in and we could just say, hey, so and so asked this
Yep.
question, and we can just talk about it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I could copy and paste it into a Word file, and we could definitely do that. That's
We
not a
should do
problem.
that. We should
Yeah.
do that. That should
Good
be
Yeah.
idea.
awesome.
Absolutely. So, um,
There's
so
Sean.
hey, Sean,
There
what's
he
up?
is.
Sean the
He's got a
man,
he's got a
Bloodstone.
clear he's got a clear sky, so he's imaging.
He's got a clear. What's a clear sky? I don't know what a clear sky is. I
I
really
had I
don't.
had a I had a clear sky yesterday.
I had a clear
Me too.
hour.
I had a clear sky yesterday, and I did some imaging. I actually took the 294 mono. I took the 294 mono and put it on the RASA and started using my 12 nanometer optolongs. So right now I am working on the Flying Bat SH Sharpless 129, which seems right now to be a popular target.
Yeah,
I mean, I've seen Trevor just did it recently, and I've seen other people popping up and showing it. So it must be, so it's a kind of a, a popular target, at least for these, couple weeks here.
To your point, Eric, I think that, with the amount of dual bands and quads and people are starting to do a narrow band with their color imagers now, I think people are starting to kind of realize that the Sharpless catalogs that are there, it's not out of their reach anymore. And I think they're starting to recognize and reimagine what they're doing as far as one-shot color imaging is concerned.
Yeah, I agree. And and a lot of these are really, the Sharpless catalog is probably one of the newer catalogs to come out because it has a lot of new data. For example, we're talking about SH2 129, the Flying Bat. I believe it was only discovered about maybe 10 or 11 years ago.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's kind of new. Same with the Lion Nebula. The Lion Nebula, awesome. That one is awesome, and it's relatively a new object. So the Sharpless catalog is, from what I can see, it is that catalog that, if you want to try to find something, that's a little outside of the norm of the traditional NGC, Messier catalogs and stuff like that, you want to go after something a little bit different, there's a Sharpless, catalog that's out here now that you can take advantage of. So
in result, though, they are like they're a bit dimmer, obviously, than the Messier.
They are.
They're a lot dimmer.
Objects. So that's definitely something to keep in mind if you're using like a DSLR with a modded DSLR or even a one-shot color with a dual in it. Probably need to gather some data on it.
Yeah, that's a definite. That is a good point there, Tegan. It's that type of those types of objects that are you would consider those fainter objects that you are going to need a lot more integration, capture time with those than you would with any other types of catalogs that you normally would go after. So yeah, for sure. I mean, right now on I'm just doing HA right now, and I've done 100. I was doing 100 5-minute exposures in HA.
Nice.
So I think, and I'm gonna, and once now clouds have rolled in, so I don't know. So I'm hoping we'll get some clear nights as we get closer to the new moon. But when that happens, that 03, that 03 filter, when I slap that sucker on, I really think I'm gonna have to go not for 5, I have to go for 10-minute, with that mono, even with the RASA.
They're small pixels, and that's an awesome system that you have. Like it's perfectly paired. I can't wait to see those results.
It's a lot of fun.
Tegan, there's been a couple of comments in the chat saying, "Hey, who's the new guy?" Tegan is not necessarily a new person. He's been dealing with a lot of stuff with High Point Scientific. Tegan, so why don't you, for the people that are don't know who you are, why don't you introduce yourself to the people that are watching now?
Yeah,
I know you've done this once before, but go ahead.
No, that's okay. I try and make it on as frequently as I can, but I do work for High Point Scientific as a content creator and product advisor, so that takes up most of my time because I do my filming and script writing all at nighttime for the most part when my boys are in bed, because you get the noises coming in from all over.
Oh yeah, I get that.
But yeah, I've been a part of the AstroWorld, I would say, for 4 months, maybe.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, about right. 4 or 5 months, maybe.
Mm-hmm. And I wish I could get on more frequently, but I've been, I guess, a little bit more about me. I've been doing astrophotography for almost 6 years, coming up in December, and that's kind of, do some visual, but obviously astrophotography is my passion, and as far as astronomy goes. So yeah, that's me.
How long have you been with High Point?
A year and a half.
Okay.
It'll be 2 years in January.
Nice.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Awesome team there.
Awesome. Well, yeah. So Tegan's a valued member of the team here. You're like the 6th or 7th member. I think that you're not the new guy anymore. Who's the new guy? Isn't it somebody after you now? I don't even remember. I'm at a loss. But yeah. So.
Mind being the new guy.
Okay.
It's okay.
I mean, Sean's ripping up the chat box, so thank you for filling up the chat box, Sean. Appreciate it. Yeah, and speaking of the Sharpness catalog, you were talking about the flying bat. Did you guys see Mark Ellis's picture of the flying dragon? I think it's 114, if I remember right.
Yeah, I did. He shared that with me on Messenger, and congratulations on that, Mark. That is a great capture, man.
Yeah, and you know what I think? I think that's gonna make my D&D meets astrophotography montage, since I can't get the Dragons of Ara, but unfortunately, unless if I fly down with a really good scope or meet up with Dr. Sass and I telescope with one of his Chilean scopes. I think that's going to make it, along with the wizard, the Medusa, and the owl, and a couple other things. Actually, they're talking about affiliates for High Point and how everybody loves High Point Scientific. For those of you that don't know, AstroWorld is also an affiliate of High Point Scientific as well. Let's see.
That's where I got my 14.
Yep.
That's where I met Scott.
Yeah, that's where I got. That's where I got my. That's where I got my 8SE. My wife got me my 8SE. That was my first scope. She got that for me through High Point, and they've been great.
I can't tell you. My first scope, I got an 8-inch Schmidt, just like many other people. Because that's what it was. I think I bought it probably in, I guess, 1989, 1990, something like that.
Good God, that's 30 years ago.
Yeah, actually, no, that wasn't my first. Yeah, it wasn't even the Meade. It was a classic C8 orange tube, and I bought it. I had to travel into Manhattan to go get it. And for those of you that are watchers of the show, you know this story, so you know what's coming. So don't blow it. But I'm sitting there, and I was with my friend Charlie, who was one of the guys that actually helped start this whole venue, the AstroWorld thing, and he's doing off his thing now. But what was that? Oh, somebody's got the audio in the background. Sorry. So I had to go into Manhattan on the LIRR on the train to go pick up this 8-inch Schmidt Cassegrain to bring it home. Now, for those of you that, the box is huge. So me and my buddy Charlie, Charlie came to carry the tripod, and I'm carrying this box. It's literally bigger than me. I'm 130 pounds. So it's huge. So I'm sitting there, and I'm trying to lift this above the seats. And as I'm walking through, I smack this lady right in the back of the head. And totally he's like, "Oh man, what the hell are you doing?" I said, "Man, it's a big box." I said, "I'm sorry." Kept on walking, and yeah, she probably had a concussion on that one. But that's one of that's my story. My first house, but I bought it, and it said tracking on it. Now I guess I was a person ahead of my time, because it said tracking. I said, cool, it's tracks. I was like, cool, so that means it's going to go to wherever I want it to go. I didn't know what I was buying. So I open it up, and I'm like, how does this thing work? And I see it, and basically what it is, and this is how old school this thing was, you had to find the object in the sky, and then once you did, and you were polar aligned, and doing that back then was a complete, it was a debacle, I mean, to do this. And what you did was you found the object, and you plugged it in the bottom, and then it would move in one axis. That was it. That was tracking. So that went into a closet for like 8 years until I sold it to a friend of mine. In the interim, the LX200 GPS came out, and I bought that. so that's my story on my first scope. But
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think the 8 box was big? You should have seen the C box, the C14 box. Holy cow! I'm glad I didn't have to go further than my garage with that thing.
Yeah, well, I'm not about to go into Manhattan to get it. I'm getting that thing shipped to my house. I'll pay the extra freight. Because
you need a dolly for that sucker.
Well, when I had my 18-inch Obsession freighted to me, because I got the classic with the wood box. I mean, that was, I think, $750 freight for an 18-inch.
Yeah.
You do a lot of visual, Dan?
Yep.
I used to do a lot. I do.
Me too.
I want to say I do some, but I can't because I'd be lying. I don't do any anymore.
My camera is my eyepiece now.
Yeah. I
Pretty
mean,
much.
It's even, I don't even do EAA because if it's clear out, I want to capture the data.
You're just gonna image.
I want to capture the data. I don't want to, that's it. But it's. I like doing. If I go to a dark sky, like Cherry Springs, I will bring a visual scope. I will bring the 18-inch out or a 12-inch, and I'll do that both jobs. But I'll still bring my imaging gear. I'll have the imaging on one side, the 18-inch on the other. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be doing EAA, mono, just for myself. EAA is good for an audience.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I do, when my son, when he's interested in hanging out with dad, and wants to look at the stars, we do EAA,
Right.
Yep.
And then it's great, especially as, we get closer now, we're in fall, we're getting into winter, it's nice that, with the ASI Air, with the Pro, I think even with the original now, you can do live stacking, which is perfect for EAA, and especially now, and I've got the, having that RASA, and, it's awesome for EAA, because it's so fast, especially when you're going after those brighter Messier and NGC objects.
Yeah.
It only takes, just a few minutes, to start pulling out some really nice data, and he can just sit here, watch me, and just watch this keep coming up, or he can take my iPad, he can do it there, and he can just slew around and stuff like that, and he just lets it go, and then about 30 minutes later says, okay, I'm bored, I'm going to play video games now.
Okay,
Hey,
Eric, give Josh a description of EAA so he understands what it is.
But before you do that, Eric, can you reconnect your cam? I think you kind of froze up.
Oh yeah, he's frozen.
Am I frozen?
Or you're really cool at
Super
sitting still.
Oh, good Lord.
No, that's not possible. he hasn't moved.
Papa Bear
He's
jumped
like he got
on.
hit with a freeze ray or something.
Yeah.
EMP.
And
See if it fixes it for him. No, he's still locked up.
well, we can hear you. We can't see you. We can hear you though.
Well, we can see.
I can't hear him now.
He's gone. Where'd he go?
Oh, he's
Okay.
gone.
So
Okay. Well,
So
Tegan, why
EAA.
don't you do it?
yeah, Tegan, why don't you? I've talked enough.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk about EAA for a little bit?
Oh, is he not even mic'd up anymore?
I
No,
think he
he's
reset
gone.
everything. He'll be back.
Yeah, EAA. electronically assisted EAA, electronically assisted astronomy, right? There we go.
I'm not
So,
laughing
yeah,
at you,
basically-
Tegan. I'm laughing at Eric. His PC locked
There-
up.
So yeah, basically EAA is being able to, instead of use the eyepiece to view deep sky objects or planets, you're doing it on your laptop in real time. So you're taking very short 1 to 5, maybe 10-second exposures of deep sky objects, and it's refreshing every few seconds. So you're getting a live view, but at the same time, you can do what
Ouch.
I think maybe
That's
Eric
what
mentioned.
the world.
Hey, no, you should leave it like that.
my
That's cool.
God.
I'm green and purple.
Yeah.
And this is what RGGB looks like.
I was gonna say, that's what
Oh my
That's
gosh.
I'm gonna say, you got your
That's
palettes
awesome.
mixed in there.
Oh,
That is
man.
awesome. Man, you've heard of the blue man group. This is the purple man.
There we
There
go.
it is. All right.
That was awesome.
That was great. Now that's in living color.
You ain't
There you
kidding.
go. Woo-wee.
Homie, don't play that.
I know. My gosh. That was funny.
That was funny. That was funny.
Oh, man.
Now it also helps with EAA if you can do some darks and some lights if you have a panel,
Yeah.
beforehand.
Flats.
Yeah.
Do your. I'm sorry. I said lights. I
Okay.
meant flats. My bad.
Yeah. If you can get your calibration frames in,
Yep.
doesn't take that much time. Just get your calibration frames. Even you can use existing, depending on, if you plan ahead, you can get like 10-second, 20-second, 30-second, calibration frames really quick. Get your flats done, get your camera in focus and then do your flats really quick. And it doesn't take many.
No.
Because
Right.
I believe it'll make a master flat even out of 10. Out of just 10 exposures. And then you can do those master calibration frames, then it's done, and then you're off to the races. But yeah, it's EAA. I'm not sure where you guys had caught on, we're at because I got booted. But, electronic assisted astronomy, it's been around for a while. Not super long, but it's been around for a while. And a perfect example of an EAA rig is, what is it? The new one, Stellara.
Oh, Stellina.
Stellina. Thank you. Stellina. Thank you, Stellina.
Is that goofy looking thing that Trevor was talking about the other
Yeah.
day?
It's like that
and
gray
Astro
tube in
biscuit.
the box, and
Yeah.
and like it's like
So-
$8,000 for like.
It's ridiculous. But
No,
you know what?
it's not $8,000, but it's really expensive for what you're
It's
getting.
for what you're getting for the average person who's just who's interested in astronomy but doesn't want to do all of the work and just wants to get instant gratification.
Yep.
That's for them.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
It's perfect for them. But it's basically doing EAA, which is basically it is taking multiple images, multiple lights, and it's doing what we call live stacking. All of these lights and basically bringing them up and combining them right then and there to create your image. And then if you really want to, I don't know about Stellina, but for my RASA, I can actually then download and save that file. And then I can put it into PixInsight or Photoshop, and I can do actual processing. Now, the true EAA astronomers will call that, you're not really doing EAA, because if you process it or anything like that, now it's art.
Yeah.
It's not really astronomy.
Agreed.
It's art. So, but yeah. The RASA, the Hyperstar, Stellina, these fast scopes. I mean, even with these fast refractors, these Newtonian, those Newtonian F3 and F4s, they are great for that type of astronomy where all you need to do, you don't really, but especially like in my case with a RASA or a Hyperstar, it's so fast at F2. You don't have to guide. You don't have to worry about auto guiding. because you're taking, basically in Arasa's case, you're taking 10-second up to 30-second, lights, images, and and then you're just live stacking those. So it's such a short time frame that you don't have to worry about guiding. You just, hey, if your mount's tracking well, then you're just fine.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun, and it's great. It's for me, for my kid, and for other kids, it's great for outreach. Another one, what was that one? The Revolution
Imager. Yep.
Yeah, the Revolution Imager is another example of doing EAA, that came out years ago, and you were doing you were doing kind of black and white imaging, if I'm not mistaken. But that's another perfect example of, you just putting in that camera into where your eyepiece would go, and you point it out to the night sky, and off you go. And, I've seen videos, like old YouTube videos, of people watching, the Revolutionary, just, watching on that screen. And these kids, they were all surrounding this telescope, and they were pretty amazed,
So the nicest thing about the Revolution Imager, and it's for its price point, I believe it was like $249 for the whole package.
Yeah, it's for the whole package. It's only like $250.
Yeah, it comes with all the cables you need. It comes with the little display monitor. I think it's like a 5 or 6 inch monitor. It has a little stand. It's got the camera. It's got your video. I almost said audio out. Video outs for your, if you want to put it somewhere else on a TV or on a bigger display. It also came with an option with an IR filter, if I remember right. I actually had one for a while, and I didn't use it much. I used it for when I was doing outreach with my astronomy group, and I would pop it in. Everybody liked it. But for myself, I did it with my nephew and stuff like that, just when they wanted to see stuff. But just in case anybody's wondering about the Stellina that we were talking about, and I was looking at some specs on it. It's about half the... What's that?
No, it has dropped. Yeah, it's like
it's still 4,000.
It's still not. It's come down.
Well, yeah, but let's think about it also. I mean, again, I'm not shooting Stellina in the foot. It's a decent project for exactly the group of people that you said, Eric. Those ones that want none of the trouble and the instant gratification. So, that's what this is for. It comes in under 25 pounds. It's 19 by 15 by 5. It's really tiny. It's small. But what you're getting is you're getting a battery operated 80 millimeter scope.
Yeah, I believe it's a doublet.
I
believe it's a doublet.
You're right.
Scope.
Yeah, it's an ED doublet.
224 sensor, the IMAX 224, I believe.
Yep, you're exact. Good job, man. Nice job, man. That's why they pay you the big bucks.
There's like a lot of controversy around the scope, because it is exactly for those who want instant gratification, and it gets a bad rap from dedicated astrophotographers who know that troubleshooting is 50% of what we love doing about the hobby. Yes, we love the data, but the tinkering, and it's so rewarding to us as dedicated astro imagers, and that's why it doesn't necessarily appeal to dedicated astro imagers.
Yeah, and you know what though? But if you think about it, and I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna bring it back a little bit. This is exactly what EAA was to hardcore observational astronomers.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And
EAA is perfect EAA is a perfect middle ground between dedicated astro imaging and
eyepiece observing
visual work. Exactly. And if you have a visual scope, it doesn't even need to be on an equatorial mount, like the Nexstar 8SE, for example.
Right.
You take a 462, a planetary camera, put it in the back, you can do EAA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can get photos.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, you can get because you can get, for example, you can get SharpCap. SharpCap's free,
Yep.
and it does live stacking.
Yep.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
and I know a lot of EAA astronomers use SharpCap. You know, for the live stacking. So yeah, the 8SC, there, yeah, you can use almost any scope to do EAA. You know, it
Yeah.
just depends on your patience, um, and what you really, and to know what you're going, and to just be prepared, for what the expectations, depending on what type of scope you have.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, with like with the Stellina, with the Rasa, the Hyperstar, all these others, these fast scopes, they are, they're built to do this type of stuff,
Yep.
and it's fun. But like I said, I do it with my son. I don't do it for myself personally. I'm the one, just like you, Teague, and just like everybody else. I like the tinkering. I like, the troubleshooting. I even like it when I make mistakes, because then I learn from those mistakes. Like perfect example yesterday, I goofed when this whole last night, clear night, and I'm using the 294 and I want to combine it with some one-shot color data. So what do I forget to do? I forget to bin 2x2 so I can match it with my one-shot color. So now I've got all bin 1 res data. But you know what? I'll probably throw it in PixInsight and do some software binning or
Yeah.
something like that, and it'll be fine. But it's just like one of those things. I woke up this morning and I was like, "Oh, this is awesome! This is great." Then I'm looking at it and looking at the title. It said bin 1. I was like, "Damn it!"
Have you? I know you're shooting with the Rasa, so you want to just keep that at your 47 megapixel probably. Have you ever looked at do you do integer resample in PixInsight when you do software binning?
No, I've never done software binning. I'm still very new to a lot of this stuff because I've used Astro Pixel processor for a lot of things that I do, and then I was slowly, migrating over into PixInsight. So I still don't know a lot of the modules or anything like that. I'm still going off of, a lot of the basics, like from Masters of PixInsight, from Ron Breacher and Sean, for example, from his videos, and just learning, and I just learned by doing,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, okay, that works. That's nice. Let's move on.
So what I noticed, I shot with, I have the 294 mono also, and I did a hardware bin, a two by two hardware bin when shooting with a 6RC, and
Okay.
I got good results binning hardware. But lately, I've been taking data from my Newtonian, which I'm sampled at 0.5 on the dot, I think, and just shooting bin 1, and then in PixInsight, I'll do a software bin or an integer resample, and I'll downsample by 2, and I'll compare side by side, and the difference in noise and my stars get smaller, the detail gets greater, my signal to noise goes up significantly, and like I'm completely shocked by how much better my data is when I bin by 2 in software.
Really?
In software.
Yeah, it's pretty
in software.
In software.
Because we talked about this before, brother, right? Binning hardware binning at 1 by 1, and then changing it in software 2 by 2. That you were getting really good results that way. So that's great advice for people that don't understand it.
And I'm like, what difference could it actually make? Because I always shoot 47 megapixels and use that as my final image, until I did a mosaic and I didn't want to deal with a 94 megapixel photo with almost a gigabyte.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, okay, you know what? This is a good time to downsample. And I zoomed in on some fine detail, and sure as hell, I was shocked. I was shocked.
Got a question from Josh Kovac. What exactly is binning?
So, binning is when you take your pixel array and you combine, for a 2 by 2 binning would mean that you take 2 pixels by 2 pixels and then you combine them into one larger pixel. So you're reducing the resolution by 4,
Right.
but you're also gaining 4 times the area of your original pixel size. So this helps significantly with higher focal length scopes, and that are if your camera and your scope is paired, you're very oversampled, then it's going to help make a more efficient system, and you're not going to be wasting data by being so oversampled. You're gonna, in my example, go from 0.5 pixel scale to 1.0, and given my scene conditions, that's optimal. So I'm getting the optimal performance out of my imaging system.
That's awesome advice. That's really good stuff. I mean, you know what? I haven't really used binning at all. You know, I've never, but I've never been in an oversampling. I've never had an oversampled setup.
Then not necessary.
Yeah, so I've always had undersampled, where I had to dither every frame and drizzle till the cows come home. I mean, you know, so it's you know, that's where I've always been, and it was just amazing where when I moved up to, you know, almost 1,000mm focal length, and the APS-H chip with 6 micron pixels, and
perfect,
dead on. I did it gig. I put it into astronomy.tools, and I started dancing. I was like, I don't gotta dither as much. I don't have to waste all this friggin' time doing this stuff, but I still dither anyway. So, you know, because I'm still slightly undersampled, but I mean, not really.
That's okay. Basically, for the viewers, if you have a short focal length telescope, you want smaller pixels.
Yeah.
If you have a longer focal length telescope, you want larger pixels.
Larger pixels. Yep.
Yeah, that's the problem that I have with the 14. You know, and even with the 20, the 2600, it's at 3.74 micron pixels.
Yeah.
You know, and I am oversampled. You know.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to bin all over the place.
Well, it's not terrible. You know, I can shoot 1 by 1 and then bin in software 2 by 2, but even, you know, I've looked at pictures of like M51. I had 30 or 40 raw images of M31, and it looked great. I remember when we looked at it, Tegan, and that M31,
I don't know if I binned in software,
it was amazing. Huh?
Yeah, no, that looked nice. I can't remember if I binned in software or not.
Yeah, and you know, the problem with that long focal length scope, like the 14 is, you know, at over 2700mm, it oversamples. So you know what they're not talking about, or if you guys don't understand, when it oversamples, the star gets very bulbous. It gets very
doesn't have a nice edge to it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's bloat. You get star bloat.
It's bloated. You get bloated.
It's bloated. That's exactly right, because there's too many pixels, and it's pulling all that together. It's kind of spilling out over, and so you have to take that down a little bit. But even with that,
one good tool to use is if you go to astronomy.tools, you know, you can use there. So if I go here, let me just share this. This is astronomy.tools for those who aren't familiar with it. This is a great website. It's one of the first websites I started using when I started getting into astrophotography. And it has lots of great calculators and information here, such as field of view. But what I'm looking at right now is the suitability calculator. And it's right under here under calculator CCD suitability. And right now, if I'm taking, for example, this is a long focal length telescope. This is my C8 Edge, and it's at just over 2,000mm focal length. With just going off of doing f10, you know, the native focal length of f10, using my current camera, the ASI 294mm, and this is also, you know, for the MC as well. My resolution is just under half arc second per pixel. And you can see here right now, I am oversampled, which basically means right here it's going to tell you, this is going to require a good mount and careful guiding. But if you, for example, the goal is to try to get into the green for the most part. But if you do a bend, you're bending 2x2, look what happens.
Yep.
Now I'm at just under 1 arc second per pixel, and even if I add on a reducer, the 0.7 reducer, I'm really into the heart of where I'm at that ideal pixel size, for seeing.
Yeah.
So this is a great tool for anybody who is just getting started, who need to understand, hey, what is going to be, if I'm imaging with this particular setup, what is going to be the best, method, or if do I need to do bending? Can I get away with native? If I'm using, a reducer or a Barlow, what do I need to do? So when you're planning, your imaging session, you can set these up, say in SGP and in ASIR Pro and in Nina. You can set up your bending right there on this in the software, in your acquisition software, to match, to get here. So you don't have, and this is really good. So when you're here, you're not oversampling. You're right there. So you're guiding, when you're guiding, you don't have to stress out, if my guiding is off or anything like that, am I going to get, boxy, or bloated stars or anything like that. So just something for you guys to be aware of. If you're interested, just go to astronomy.tools and use these tools. They're outstanding. So
and Eric, let me just tack on to what you're saying with that when you're using this tool, you got to be really honest with yourself about the seeing conditions of where you live.
Absolutely.
And that's going to affect. Change it to like what is it? Okay, 2 to 4. Change
okay
it to
is 2 to 4.
Change it to horrible. And look what happens.
You're definitely oversampling.
You know what I'm saying? So even with all of the things that he's doing, bending 2x2, putting a reducer on there, you got to be honest with. I'm on Long Island, so I'm probably, even though I'm probably still in that good seeing range, I'm probably at close to the 4 end of it. So I'm somewhere in the middle of okay to good. I think is the next worst, if I remember right.
Yeah, it's like it's like poor and very poor.
Oh,
After okay.
okay.
Yeah.
If you're sharing your screen, you should also show clear dark sky, which is a great tool to use to evaluate your seeing conditions.
Yep.
Yeah. So if I go to clear dark sky, this is the clearest sky chart in my area, Caledonia, Illinois. And
that's the clearest one? You're pretty scared.
No, this is the nearest. This is the
nearest. It's all white. So it's like
it's the nearest.
Okay. Sorry.
So so here, if I want to see if it expands a little bit more. Oh, sorry, nope, it didn't. Let me go back. So so if you take a look here, for sky, it'll show you, the expected seeing conditions. So if you hover over these blocks for every different time, it'll let you know, oh, this is poor seeing. That's bad. If it's white, it's too cloudy. Forget about it.
Yeah,
it's that type of stuff.
For those of you guys that have never seen this, the darker the blue for the top part anyway, the better is the conditions. So transparency, seeing, cloud cover, all of that.
There is a way to show your seeing conditions on a scale over the entire year on average on this website. And I've seen it.
Really?
I didn't know that. I don't know how to access it. Yeah, and you can go to any city. My buddy was using it when he was moving to Boston from Colorado, and he was just looking at the seeing condition difference, and he showed me a window, and it showed for the entire year of in Boston. and it was all like terrible, 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 and then like good in November, and then like terrible, terrible, terrible.
Yeah. And if you're just FYI, when you're doing something imaging such as planetary, seeing is very important, as well as I believe transparency. If you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but
Oh, yeah.
seeing is quite important. You know, when you're seeing conditions, they could be a bit more forgiving, I believe, if you're doing deep sky. But
Definitely.
when you're doing planetary, seeing is very, very important.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's make it or break it. It's like if you have bad seeing conditions, don't really expect good results in planetary imaging.
No.
Exactly.
It's difficult to get good. Planetary imaging is a humbling experience for me, even because when I was doing that video, Eric, I went out 6 separate nights to image with the Nexstar 8SE, a 2x Barlow, and a QHY 462. And on one of those nights, I got okay results. Every other night was completely washed out, very little surface detail on Jupiter. And that's what it comes down to. I mean, if you have bad seeing conditions, then sorry, but get out your deep sky.
Were you using an atmospheric dispersion?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Josh, the site is called Clear Dark Sky.
Yep.
Cleardarksky.com.
Yep.
And then you can begin, you can enter in information to look up for your area in the nearest,
Did you get my tag?
the nearest, areas that offer that forecast near you. So like I said, where I live, it doesn't have a clear dark sky, but the suburb right next to me, it has that, it has it. So
and there is a couple ways you could do it. You could put in your coordinates, or you could do, as Eric said, you could choose the one that's nearest you. If you put in your city, state, it'll give you the ones closest to you in the list. It's actually pretty cool.
There's also an app for your phone.
Yeah, it's Clear Outside.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Clear Outside.
Yeah, it's Clear Outside.
Hey, Clear Dark Sky also has an app. Clear Dark Sky has an app as well.
I'm sorry, I don't know if you guys seen my TikTok about Clear Outside, and if you haven't looked at it, go look at it, because I almost threw my phone into like my neighbor's yard because it literally said blue across the top, and I'm outside taking a video of the clouds. So
yeah,
yeah. I remember you mentioning that.
Oh, it was horrible. That was like the 3rd time in a row that I set up things, and they said it was going to be clear, and I go outside. I said, all right, it's going to go away. They said it was going to be, and then of course the clouds made a left turn or something and landed right on top of my house. So
and you might talk about the difference or the description for the difference between things like what sky quality is versus what seeing conditions are versus what Bortle class is, because not everybody understands all that.
Now, well, you can get the sky quality right off that app that you were showing, Scott.
Yeah, it's right there.
It gives you an SQM, a sky quality meter reading of your actual location. Now, where they get that information from, I can't tell you. I will tell you that you could, get one of these guys for like $100, and this is a sky quality meter where you just, if I put the battery in, well, right now inside my house, I'm at a 6.59. So, don't image at that. So higher in the, 20s are nice, 21s are even better. I am at an 18.1, I think, on Long Island. Maybe a 17.8, depending where you go.
That's like a Bortle 8.
Yeah, that's a Bortle 8, almost a Bortle 9.
Also, Dan, just for people who can't afford something like that, or there is the Dark Sky app, the Dark Sky meter. Yep, right there, that you can download on the
you both
Apple
got it.
Store. Yeah, and this one's pretty. Yeah, it works. It does work. It's pretty.
The camera on this
close.
iPhone 12 is incredible.
Well, now I'm going to download it. And you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to download it right now. And I'm going to run outside. And I'm going to use my sky quality meter. And I'm going to see if it actually works. Let's compare this thing. I'm going to do it right now. This is... You know what I'm also going to stop doing? I'm also going to stop putting titles on our shows because they never friggin' work out. They never work out.
We were going to be talking about cable
We're supposed to be talking about cable management. We're talking
about...
about...
How to organize our data.
So what's the app called?
This one, it is
Dark Sky Meter.
Dark Sky Meter.
All right, so Dark Sky Meter. I'm going to download it right now. You're seeing this first. This is a AstroWorld exclusive we're doing here.
I don't know if there's an Android version, to be honest.
Dark Sky Meter.
You got an Android phone?
Are you going to make me pay for it? It's $1.99. What are you doing?
$20.99.
Better than $100.
It's $1.99. Well, we're going to see what $1.99 versus $100 sky quality meter does. It's kind of like when I bought that $175 bottle of champagne and my $4 bottle of champagne to see if I taste. I didn't taste a damn difference. I got the same headache.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to go outside. Allow your location. Allow once. Okay. Yes. Okay. Oh, wait. I got to cover. Oh, it actually makes you take. Okay. So cover the camera and press 1. Okay. Cover the camera and press 1. I should do this outside, not with all these lights in here, right?
Probably a good idea.
All right. So let me go outside.
Yeah, he's got a lavalier mic. Let's see how far it travels.
I don't know how long this is going to go, so we'll see.
Yeah.
He's gonna start.
Right? There is something in the Google Play Store called Black Sky Meter. It doesn't have very good reviews, but there is something out there that looks somewhat similar to the Dark Sky Meter. They're out on the in the Google.
What was
Play
it?
Store.
$1.50?
Yeah, it was like $1.
Like
$2.
you can't get a latte at Starbucks for that.
No.
Man, that's gonna be awesome if it gives results similar to that.
If
he's gonna be crying awesome. if he $1.50 app beats his $100 meter.
So what?
He's gonna be crying.
You're gonna want to use this. Knowing your sky quality doesn't really make a difference if you can't go anywhere. You know, you're gonna have to image there, like in your home, like where you're located at, regardless of your sky quality. But where it can help is over several nights, you can get the average sky quality, what's good for your area and what's bad, and then you can choose to image on those best nights. And I guess that's where.
Is he back?
I'm back. Okay, so the result is this. So I guess the one thing we gotta take into account is that this takes dark frames first, and it's cloudy outside. But that shouldn't matter because I'm taking the same image of the sky quality. It shouldn't matter. So this shows me an SQM of 18.63 on the phone. Now, unfortunately, it died before I could show it to you, but it said 17.67. Big difference. Big difference. Same area of the sky, same place. I did this. I did one of these. Like this.
Wow.
So I'm going to do it again on a clearer night and see, not that should matter because it's still taking the brightness of the sky, whether it's being reflected off the clouds or not. So I'm wondering if you could do this without the darks. You can't.
I mean,
You can't do it.
if you find like if you find a 1 point difference between the two on average, then you can always just use your phone and then subtract 1.
I could,
Yeah.
or I could just drag this around with me wherever I go,
Drag that
and
around with you. Yeah.
or I could just
But
split the
wonder-
difference and do 0.5.
The lower, but just as an FYI, for those that don't know, I believe, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, the lower the number, the worse the quality.
Correct.
Okay?
Mhm.
Or am
Yep.
I, yeah.
Nope, you're
The
right.
lower the number, the poorer your sky quality.
Yep. I mean, like, I was curious. I was going to bring this to Cherry Springs, but I was expecting to be 21 and over at Cherry Springs. So that I was hoping to see with this. But when I went down to Charlotte, and I went to the Astronomy Village on the border of North and South Carolina, I was at a 20.88 on there, which was nice. And that was
That's
literally a 45-minute drive south of Charlotte. And that's exactly where I was looking on living until COVID put a kibosh on everything. So, hey, well.
So yeah, I'll have to get back. I'll have to try that again because, what is it? Clear Outside showed my area. I'm in a Bortle 5. I'm at my sky quality is 19.9 according to Clear Outside. So I'm gonna have to check that out. That same app out and just compare and see how close it is.
I'm curious, because if you
I'm just curious now.
If you take a look at what was it, Clear Outside, and it gives me the SQM on here for the see, I love this.
It's right in the middle.
Oh wait. So no, this is what I love. There you go, and chocolate. So, so with the sky quality meter for where I am, current location. Let me just wait for it to load up. It says an 18.2. So smack dab in the middle almost of the two readings. So,
to Sean's point here, he says ideally you want to do it on a moonless night and point straight up to the zenith. So
absolutely.
So if you have a clear sky coming up pretty soon, we're
well, I think Saturday might be okay. So, my first clear night in like 3 weeks. So
there you go.
So I can't wait for the nice cool weather to kind of settle in and move all this garbage out. And then I remember last winter. I remember we were all imaging. It was funny because Eric would be imaging for he would start like a week before me because the weather is and like literally there was a time where we were imaging at the same time for like 6 days in a row. Last winter. It was I got like fun. 30 hours on 3 different images in a week. On 2 different images in a week. I mean, it was incredible. You're just sitting there and let it go and go to bed. And that's it.
Yeah. It is. I remember that. That was good times.
Yeah.
That was so funny. Here I am. I'm imaging like almost for practically a week, and then I said, "Hey, Dan, it's coming to you, man."
Yep.
Get ready.
A couple days later, there
it was.
As long as Canada or the Carolinas don't screw it up for me, it was good. As long as the jet stream stayed east to west, west to east.
Did you guys have any clear spells this spring or summer, but was ruined by the smoke?
Yeah, I had a couple.
I did too. I had about a 11-day period. It was clear every single night.
Oh yeah, and you still couldn't see stars.
Couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, in these darn wildfires. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. You know what? In all fairness, it was worse the year before. The year before,
Really?
2 years ago, it was so bad. They were telling people to stay in the houses in New York.
That it was so bad.
Because the air quality was so bad that they didn't want you. I mean, I don't know what staying in your house is really going to do. I mean, the air is going to, you got the AC on, for Christ's sake. It's sucking air from the outside in, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly. It's like it was just last year was definitely worse than this one. This one we only had like a couple of days, maybe 2 weeks. I remember there was like 2 weeks and then it stopped and then it was 2 weeks again. It was really bad. It was really bad.
Yeah.
So sky quality is dealing with the reflectivity, that how much light is being reflected back down to the Earth, and then the seeing conditions is going to be the particulate that is in the atmosphere.
Correct.
All right.
I thought that was the transparency.
Transparency. And that, but
you said seeing twice. I think
you said seeing.
Did I say seeing twice?
Distortion.
I thought I said sky quality. Sky quality is the reflectivity.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then seeing is the particulate, the amount of particulate that's in the air that obscures either the amount of water vapor that's in the air or smoke particles.
It's transparency, I think.
Transparency.
Yeah, two different things.
Yeah, two different things. So, okay, so so the particulates, is that transparency? And
That's
if
transparency.
And if that's transparency,
Yeah.
then what is seeing? Then what exactly is seeing? Some people,
Atmospheric
That is.
Atmospheric.
That's atmospheric distortion. So you have atmospheric distortion, which is your seeing. You have the particulates in the air, which is your transparency, and then you have the reflection from the sky back down, which is your sky quality.
Then you have cloud cover, and we all know what
Yep,
that is.
and all that other garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the result of people buying gear.
Yeah. Yeah. This is when you want to go to OPT and buy their Icarus filter.
Oh, yeah. So Tegan's twitching.
Video?
He's twitching over there.
Let's get the Icarus video.
No, that was funny. That was funny. That was
The
a good one.
Icarus filter. That was a good April Fool's. I like that. That was like, it almost had me going. I was like, wait
That
a
was
minute.
great.
You can actually
That was
see
hilarious.
through clouds now. I was like, this is, and I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, I was like, oh, this is April.
A 0.001 nanometer.
Great. So
That was awesome.
I got a little bit of an unboxing here. And you remember in the summer, we had a couple of people. We had two people, at least. I'm sure there was more. Two people, one that's watching now, or was watching, that had a lot of damage done to their rig because of rampant weather conditions. You were one too? That's three?
Probably.
That's three. So, well, I didn't consider you watching, so I guess you're watching. But Ron Brecher got his mount fried from an electrical storm. Alan Mitchell, freak storm came in while he was imaging and rained on his gear. So those are the two that I was thinking. I'm sure there's more out there, but I said I can't. I'm going to try and do everything I possibly can because I don't have a dome. Everything's outside. I don't have anything. It's just a pier outside in the middle of everything. So after doing a lot of research and with the help of another AstroWorld buddy, James, who's running around the country working. I bought, if I could get it out, this guy.
What?
What the hell is that?
This is
the weather station.
Oh, weather station. Okay.
an Accurite Atlas weather station.
Where'd you get that from?
This is from Accurite,
The local weather.
Oh, directly from them?
directly from them.
Nice.
Okay? It's all solar powered. It has wind,
Nice.
barometer, lightning detection. And there is, and it's not in this box, it's in another box that's coming. It has a display that goes next to your bed. So if there is a drop in barometric pressure, which indicates rainfall coming, it will send a nice audible alarm right to your bedside and wake your butt up. so you will
awesome.
lose hundreds or thousands of dollars in equipment. And so this is going up very, very soon. So that's the next thing.
Did it have a did it have a smartphone app that comes with
It does. It does. This one does. The Atlas does. So it's got a smartphone app. It's also got it's all Wi-Fi. It checks the weather all the time. And you get, obviously, rainfall detection and readings and a whole bunch of crap
Now,
I'm never going to use. But, I mean, it's cool.
Here's the question that I have about something like that. Let's say that you have an automated dome. You know, can you set that up so that if there is a significant drop, that it will trigger the dome to shut?
You would need, like, the Boltwood, which is by Diffraction Limited. That's one of the people that make them, that actually interfaces with the dome. Now, until I get a dome, I didn't find it. You know, the top of the line Boltwood, I think it's like $1,100 or something like that with all the bells and whistles. I don't know if Tegan, if you know about the Boltwood from Diffraction Limited. Basically, it's a weather cloud sensor that is ASCOM compliant and will close your dome if you got clouds.
I know there's an option on like Sequence Generator Pro, I believe, for weather control.
Yep.
And weather control.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going.
Well, yeah. So you get the Boltwood. The Boltwood connects to SGP just like anything else, and you get the
Nina
weather.
Have it too?
What's that?
Does Nina have observatory control for that as well?
Absolutely. It's got a safety monitor and weather control. Not weather control, but weather monitoring, and then based on the conditions, it will stop your imaging and close the dome up for the night.
Nice.
Yeah.
You figure out the whole weather control thing, you let me know.
No, this is a work in progress. So, I mean, it's still literally still in the box. It's going up this week. So, that's going to be on
the Telegizmo?
What's that? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got the Desert Storm 365. That goes over that.
Yeah. I've got to get a replacement because mine is ripped. The inner lining is ripped, so I got to get a replacement.
Yeah, they're not cheap, but they're worth it. I mean,
they're worth it.
For the bigger sizes, we'll run you over 200.
Oh God, yeah. I had to get the biggest one.
No, you gotta get like a drapery size thing. We're talking normal people. We don't need, these kind of things.
I could get inside that thing.
You get like a
Telegizmo, Scott.
Yeah, he's got like a Boston Mastiff under these things. He's like, it's crazy. But the normal ones will cost you anywhere from $170 to $240. Something like that.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
If you have a super large overcompensating telescope like Scott has, then you would have to spend over like $300 for that because he's got a big rig. He's got a 14-inch monster on wheelie bars. He's got
He's talking about the telescope.
It's a little bit, but but
oh my God,
so if you're like what I have, that you're just kind of like appear outside, all you need is a Telegizmos, but the good one, not the little dinky, the ones that like astronauts use to kind of cover themselves. Not that one.
Yeah, no.
You need the
it's a $200 insurance policy for
Pretty much. That's pretty much it is.
And in all fairness, I'm not like some of these other guys, like TJ Connolly. He's got plenty of more guts than I do because he leaves his. Well, now he's got a dome. So I mean, before the dome, Before the dome, though, he left his telescope, and he lives upstate New York,
North.
and
that's
it snows quite a bit. And I remember 2 seasons ago, he would sit there and take pictures of his scope, and all you saw was a mound. You didn't even see the scope, and the scope was still under. I take my scope off every night. In the morning, I take it off.
Me, no. See, with me having the telegizmo, I just put, the dew shield cover on. Every once in a while, I got to remember, I got to put it on here. I have this, this is like an Everdry.
Oh yeah.
Which is basically like that's
like a damp rid.
Yep. Yeah, like damp rid. So I'll put that in there, and then I'll put the 365 on there, and bungee cord that sucker up, and then I'm good.
You know what?
That's what I was doing for years.
It's not even that. I'm not worried about anybody stealing it or anything. It's just me. I just don't.
Right.
I'm crazy. I'm nuts. So I kind of just take it in, and I leave the main dovetail on. I leave the mount out. I just take the scopes off. It literally takes me 5 minutes. But like we were talking about last week, that because I do that, I still polar align with a peer every night. I still do it every night because I don't care. I mean, Scott, you had some good ideas with nuts and screws and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm not that smart with that kind of stuff, so I'll just sit there and even though the polar alignment isn't really off by a lot, if anything, I know something's gonna move like a hair. So from putting this stuff on, it's just gonna move, and it's gonna, it's just gonna, I'm not gonna feel complete if I don't do this. so I mean,
it's part of your routine, man. So it's all good.
And the polar alignment,
to each their own as far as routine goes.
Yeah, the polar alignment these days, it's not like it was when I was banging people's heads carrying a box in the LIRR. This is something that takes literally now 2 minutes.
Yeah.
With SharpCap.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
So it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, for anybody that's watching that has never really polar aligned, I mean, you have to understand that when you get close with SharpCap and you're trying to dial it in those last few little bits, you can literally just breathe on those azimuth bolts and it'll throw it out.
If you're that close, you just have to consider your imaging scale, and if you're shooting with a refractor, don't even bother. You're not going to be it's not. Okay. What are you at 1,000 millimeter focal length?
Yeah, not 952.
Okay, at 1,000 millimeters, I do that as well. I'm at 0.5, so I see accurate polar alignment to be important. But at the same time, I leave my equipment to just slowly sink in the dirt and the grass over time after a 2 month period with a 10-inch Newton, 33 pounds of counterweights on there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Polar alignment's fine. It'll be fine.
No, I got, now I got the EQ8R with the 222 counterweights on it. And,
massive.
Yeah.
Dude, it's.
Do you like that mount?
What's that?
Is that mount just incredible?
It is. And you know what? I was talking, I guess it was last week on the show that I in all fairness, I wasn't expecting to get better guiding than what I had with the EQ6R, believe it or not. And people go to me like, what did you spend all that money on?
It's a weight cap. It's a weight cap. It's
the weight cap. It's the weight cap. And that's what it was. Because I don't know if I just got a really good EQ6R, everybody else has the same results. But I was legit, on average, for the past 2 years that I've had this mount, I've probably averaged, in New York, about 0.5, 0.4.
That's all you need.
Yeah, I don't even need that. I don't even need it with my seeing. My seeing sucks. It's horrible. Yeah. So if I'm at 0.9, 0.8, I'm happy. Because, and this is a thing that we talk about this on the show quite a bit, is that don't get too bogged down with this arc second or pixel number that whatever you're using in PhD guiding. But look at your image and look at your stars. Zoom in on your stars. Yeah, if they're round, you're good.
Mhm.
If they're round, you're good. Listen. This is going to come out the wrong way, but if apples to apples, if the guiding number says 9 and your stars are round, something's
Beach
wrong
balls.
with PhD. so you got to fix that. But your guiding is good, because your stars are round, based, depending on how long your exposure is.
The two numbers you want to look at are the RA oscillation and the declination oscillation. If they are close in numbers, if they're almost identical, then you should, in theory, have round stars. If your deck is, say, 1.0 and your RA is 0.5, you're going to have 2 times elongation in the declination axis. So keep a lookout for those numbers, both of those numbers. They should be fairly close.
Yeah, exactly. Good point.
And that also could be a balancing issue. You could need to, fine tune your balancing. And if you're using a lot of counterweights and you're pulling, a tremendous amount of weight through that, Quiv. I always pronounce his name wrong. I don't know if it's Quiv or Queeve or how. Yeah, you guys know who I'm talking about. He's got a very interesting video on using a clamp meter. And if you don't know what a clamp meter is, look it up on Google. You'll see.
You talk about this once a month. It's great.
Yeah, I mean it's really ingenious. The way he did. He stole it from somebody else who showed him how to do it.
That's fine. Still shameless.
And it all it does is measure how much amperage is going through that one wire, and all you have to do is balance it out, so that you're pulling the same amps going in both directions, and then you're right on target. It's really ingenious. I mean, when you think about it, it really makes sense. But his video on it is pretty cool, and he's
a trip.
He gets really, really excited about really simple stuff, and it's fun to watch him get really excited about this.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
It is.
So.
It is. We got a couple questions.
That
came
Lydell's
through.
on.
Lydell's on, and so he was asking, does anyone cover their gear with their homeowner's insurance?
That's gonna be dependent on your carrier.
Yep. But you can get it.
I personally don't, but I could. But what was recommended to me was, instead of being on my homeowner's insurance, was to get a separate rider. Very similar to what you would get. Say, I have my wife's, jewelry insured. So something very close to that, where it's very inexpensive. It was like, maybe, I don't know, to insure her jewelry is like $15 a month. It's like really cheap.
Yeah.
But it covers all. But it protects
the jewelry
her jewelry.
or the insurance.
The insurance is. I'm spending everything on Astro. Forget her. That ring is really nothing but it's nothing but the tap off of a Coke can.
Oh, baby, that's pure 100% cubic zirconium. That's awesome.
That is it.
I had to do something similar like that with my my photography studio. I mean, because I'm running. I mean, my God, I've got to have probably $70,000 or $80,000 worth of photography equipment at least. So what I did is I went to my agent through State Farm, and he did exactly that. He set up a separate rider that was in addition to the homeowners, and it covered everything. What's really interesting about that is that it didn't just cover it when it was here in the home. It covered it wherever I was. So if I took it on a plane and I lost it on a plane,
that's the same thing I got. Yep.
Nice. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, I need to double check my limits now, because it just increased with the 8R and the 127 that's out there now. So I'm gonna have to raise the coverage a little bit on it.
Yeah, you might have to. And
well, I mean, when you're walking through,
I actually saved all of my major AP invoices. You know, if I'm buying like say really expensive filters, for example,
Uh-oh.
Lost,
or
Lost Tegan.
lost
Lost Tegan.
Tegan for a second. But if I say I'm buying an expensive set of filters, you know, that goes on there. You know, I'm going to put that on there. You know, anything else, if it's over a certain dollar amount, then then I've got that invoice, and then I can, you know, share that information with my insurance company, because I have State Farm as well, and just make sure it's all covered.
Yep.
So yeah, as long as you can do something like that, just get one of those add-on riders, so it's not really tied maybe to your homeowner's insurance in a way, because those homeowner insurance, you know, your deductible could be it depends, it can be a little high, but at least for something like that, you know, that's something to do.
Yeah.
Something
Well,
to look
maybe
into.
actually, Tegan, do you use the ASIR or no?
No.
Okay, good. So we're 2 on 2 now. Okay, that's good. I don't use it. So, but there is a
I
question
don't use it.
that what?
I don't use it either.
That's right.
It's
You're in the
3 on 1.
minority
Eagle,
now.
baby.
All right.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
you know, but Victor had a question. We could all ping in on this. Is the difference between PhD2 in the ASIR versus the Windows or Mac program, the full-blown version? So, what can you do?
Full-blown
What can you
version.
not do? What are the limitations? I know there are limitations in.
There are a lot of limitations with, you know, with the guiding with the ASIR software. It is, I mean, this stuff is running off of a Raspberry Pi. It's very limited in what it can do. You can set, you're doing your calibrations. Yeah, you can set your
Minimotion.
You can set your minimums and maximums for your motion, you know, stuff like that. It's
And
very
I
limited.
I think your aggressiveness too. I think that's it.
You can set your
I
aggressiveness.
think you only have
can
3
set your
settings for
aggressiveness.
each.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah. So because actually, there's not a lot that you can actually do with the guiding here. And let me see here, because I'm bringing up PhD2 now, not PhD2, but the ASIR. And we can just take a quick look at it. Yep, here we go. So let me share this. Share. Okay, I'm using BlueStacks here.
Yep.
So if we go to guiding here, actually, if I go here, you can set your calibration, your declination, and RA durations. You can do dithering. You can set that. You can do your dithering. But that is, you know, pretty much it as far as the actual guide settings.
But if you go on your image screen, if I remember right.
But if you go here, and you can set your aggressiveness, and you can set your scale for your x-axis, for your horizontal, and you can set your declination mode. You can set it to north, south. You can turn it off, or you can set it to automatic. And then you have your graph, but that is it. And then you can set then you can set your speeds. And I think the max speed is 5 seconds.
That doesn't seem as limiting as I thought it would be, honestly.
Okay.
Well, there is a lot more in the standalone version.
Yeah, there is. There's a lot more in the standalone version, because you have like the guiding assistant, a few other things you can do. There's a lot more.
Multi-star guiding.
Well, they both have multi-star. Actually.
They both have multi-star now.
Yeah, they both have them.
Yes, they do have. Oh. Yep, they both have multi-star now. So that came out earlier this year, I believe. So
can you adjust your gain?
It's awesome.
Yes, I can adjust my gain. I can adjust my gain on my camera, as well as, like I said, the exposure time. Yeah,
the drift alignment routine, all the tools in PhD are not there. The drift alignment, the guiding assistant, all the other stuff that's in the tools section of PhD2 is not available in the ASIR. What else? One of the things that the ASIR does well, is it just gives you enough information to get good images, but not enough things that you could totally screw it up. And if you don't know what
for
you're
sure.
doing with your guiding
For
settings,
sure.
and everybody chime in on this, if you could
Yeah.
really screw up your pictures if you don't know. If you just say, you know what, put min motion to 0.9 and your aggressiveness at 100% on both and see what happens. No, it's not going to work that way. So you got to start with the defaults, work from there, but you'd want to move it incrementally. Incrementally, you don't want to sit there and bang it.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
there's a if you Google analyzing PhD
Yep.
graphs, it's an amazing tool. So first and foremost, it goes over what hysteresis, minimum movement, aggressiveness, what all that does, when you should adjust it, and then it gives example graphs of what backlash looks like, what bad sing looks like, and you can use that and compare it to your graph and adjust the parameters as needed.
And it actually gives you suggestions on what to do, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a really good tool. And if you want, we'll put the link up in the chat box, and just so anybody can take a look at it. It's really, really a good tool.
But I think the multi-star guiding is probably one of the best things to happen to PhD.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because what that essentially is now doing is beforehand, it's recommending that you do 2-second exposures and above, because anything faster than that, you'll notice when you're taking 1 second or half a second sub exposures in PhD, the star is moving, and your mount is following the star, which is called chasing the seeing.
Yep.
And it's not averaging. It's not averaging out enough data to get a nice uniform guiding graph. But the multi-star guiding now takes the average of 5, 6, 10 stars. So now you can increase or decrease your sub exposure time and still get good results now, because it is averaging everything out. And I'm at 1 second. I guide at 1 second now with multi-star, and I usually am at 0.4 to 0.5. Whereas
that is also a good argument for having if you have a long focal length scope like an SCT or something, it's a very good argument for having a large prism OAG, because the smaller prism OAGs, you're not going to get enough stars to do that.
Yep.
No, you won't.
Figured that out the hard way.
Yeah. Oh my God. That hard way.
Monster.
Sure did. Yeah, and then freaking shooting at 2,700 millimeter, and I get a little tiny 8 millimeter freaking prism.
My pencil eraser is bigger.
Oh.
Go Speed Racer. Jeez, God, that was a nightmare.
Yeah, I remember looking at those pictures, and I'm like, dude, you only got 1 star. You got 1 star.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Tarek's got a question here.
Yeah.
What filters do you use for a color camera besides or other than or away from your narrow band dual banding? You have your moon and sky glow, your light pollution, your moon and sky glow.
The L Pro.
Your L Pro. You have your UHC, your ultra high contrast. What else?
No filter.
There's
right, Tegan.
No filter. Okay.
Nope.
No, there you go. Pandora's box again.
Here we go. Yeah, Eric. I'll stop there. That's it.
So basically it's all of your basic light pollution filters, such as the L Pro and
Beta Moon
those
Sky.
other the Beta Moon and Sky, stuff like that. So myself, that's what I would use. That's what I have, whenever started with my one shot colors. It was the Beta Moon and Sky, and it was the UHC, the ultra high contrast. And that was it.
There we go. Go, Tegan.
Okay. I opened the box back up. Eric, a very honest question, or I want a very honest answer. regarding the moon and sky glow and the UHC filter, the UHC filter is more of a narrow band filter, right? I used it for a UHC
It's a
filter
really
visually.
wide narrow band if you want to.
It's it's like if you want to call it narrow band, but it's really it's really wide.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you? Okay, let's go with the moon and sky glow, which is a standard city
Mhm.
light suppression
Yep.
filter.
Yeah.
Do you see a difference in the quality of a single sub exposure between using one and not using one? And two, after comparing a full data set between using the SkyGlow filter and not using the SkyGlow filter, do you see weird color artifacts or the filter just giving you like weird colors due to it blocking some of the light actually coming from the target?
I haven't seen any artifacts, but let me. If I
False
can.
coloring, not artifacts, but like pinkish or purple stars when they should be yellow and
No.
blue. And white.
I've seen that with the L Pro.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen
That's
with
the
the
one I really wanted to ask about, the L Pro.
yeah. I've seen that with the. I found out that now I'm not a. I want to preface this by saying I'm not a full-time OSC shooter, so I want to start with that. However, from when I was using my 294, I found that I got more truer star color with the batter as opposed to the L Pro.
Yeah.
What about in comparison to no filter?
Well, then
No.
but then in my seeing, I would have
Yeah.
to be bringing it down to, I don't know, 15-second exposures because my sky would just be completely blown out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
He's
I
in
wouldn't be
Bortle
able to
9.
go. Me personally, I wouldn't be able to go without it in Bortle 8.
Yeah. Bortle 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bortles, I have concluded that I'm just not going to do LRG broadband imaging much anymore, even in Bortle 7 skies, because it's too much of a hassle to
Yeah.
get the image or one that
Yeah.
a good
Now,
image.
because for me, doing broadband imaging, with some bright objects using the L Pro, for me, I don't like it versus the Beta Moon and Sky Glow, or or just a traditional, UVIR cut, something like that. I'll give you an example. Let me share my screen here again, and I'll bring up my AstroBin page and give you guys thought here. Okay. We all know, this is M31.
Yep.
And you can see here, this is using my Beta Moon and Sky Glow filter with the RASA 8 with the ASI 294.
Okay.
How much data is that?
I'm sorry?
How much data is that?
Let me go back to the tech card here. This is 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Yeah, so
Okay.
not
At
a lot of
F2?
data.
Now, yeah, this is at F2.
At F2.
Yeah. So this was 2.5 hours. Now, if I go back to my gallery here, and this is with the L Pro. And this was 3 hours with the L Pro. That difference, I don't care for it. I don't think it's very true. I don't think it's very true. This is just my opinion. With this gold and and everything, the way this, and I looked at other images from other people who've shot M31 with the L Pro, and they get the same brownish, goldish color result. I personally don't think it's, really a true representation, a true color versus, using that Beta Moon and Sky Glow.
And did you color calibrate those images?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I used PCC.
Okay.
Mm.
I see in this one right here, I see on the left-hand side, I see more blues and
Mhm.
maybe a
Yep.
couple
Yep.
little red spots, more so than I did
Yeah.
the other. The other one almost, I see more color in this one than and contrast and
There is
detail.
a lot of more color and more detail here. It's just for me, it was just I just felt, this goldish color didn't seem very true to me versus me with other, and I could be
Right.
wrong, but it's just my representation, it's my thought, my train
No.
of thought. It didn't look as I would expect Andromeda to look, with this goldish brown looking,
Sean said
goldish brown
he
look.
shot M31 with this and he didn't have this problem. So
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
okay.
just thinking about his video.
yeah,
It
so
is
it,
gonna really
Yeah.
depend upon
And
could
this is
be
with the L
something with the
Pro, yeah.
processing part of it.
It could be
Yeah.
because I was also seeing Greg LaMonica. He has a Rasa and he was doing the same thing and he ended up getting, this golden looking color. So at first I was like, okay, maybe I'm not the only one,
Not just,
so.
I mean, to me, I mean, I'm gonna be the bad guy again. I'm gonna be. I think the stretch and the coloring, whatever curves you did, I think the stretch was a little too much. This is just me.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a guess because I see a lot of bright and darkness there, which means that the stretch may be a little too aggressive.
Okay.
And guys, chime in if I'm just talking out my butt here.
Yeah.
But the star colors actually look very, very good. I thought there was a lot of nice different reds and blues, like Tegan pointed out. I did see that. I saw more of a whiting out of everything in the batter in this. It seemed like washed out in the batter.
Okay.
Now, again, I don't know if that has to do with masking the stars or maybe you didn't use a star mask and you did the galaxy all at the same time because it all looks to be the same color.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it could be a couple of things. It'd be interesting to see your process with the L Pro in your process container and take a
You
look
still
and
have
see.
you still have all of the raw data?
I believe I do. I usually don't toss it, so I'm sure I do something.
Yeah, you might take a peek at Sean's video and watch what he did. Because I saw the way he processed his, and it would be very interesting to see how close you could follow what he did and see if you can get a different result. That might be kind of fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I can't wait to stack and process my data from a color camera.
He just confirmed that, by the way.
Yeah, he said, it's a processing.
It's the processing.
Victor wanted to know if you could put both the pictures up again.
Yeah, sure. Let me just go back here and let me share that again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, not for nothing, but I mean, I got beat up by my wife for years on my processing. I would do things and I thought it looked good, and she would come in and she'd just smack me around. Because I was doing it wrong.
Right.
And I'm kind of spoiled in that I've got an artist in the family, but I mean, if you can keep an open mind, and constructive criticism, when it comes to stuff like this, all it's going to do is make things better for you.
Yeah,
exactly. Yep. And you know what? And I'm all about that. I know that my processing and everything, I'm still, very new to a lot of it. And sometimes I can be a bit impatient and not really judge things very well. So,
impatient what?
But no,
impatient?
Yeah, I know, right? That's why I got the Rasa. That's why I got the Rasa, because I'm impatient. I want F2, I want speed. But yeah, no, to your point, you got there are good colors here. Now that I'm actually looking, like even down here in the left,
I saw
some
that
nice
bright
blues
blue
and reds. Yep. Yeah, so there.
I like that.
If I go,
yeah, the dust lanes are really dark.
Yeah.
I think maybe if you just like do either one of two ways: mask the galaxy, invert it, and do some curving, little changes in there, just in the galaxy, may help you. I think that
because
if you did,
if I look here, let me see if I can go bigger. because this looks kind of interesting. If I go up here, you see here?
Yeah.
So maybe, and you're getting some blues and some
Yep.
reds and stuff like that. So yeah, to your point, maybe it's definitely, I'm not going to argue with, with Sean. I definitely agree. It's my processing.
Did you mask the core?
It looks like it.
I did.
Yeah, it looks like
I
it.
did.
Yeah, that core looks really dark.
Yeah, HDNR. Yeah, I did some some HDR on
this. It looks like it was a little too aggressive, maybe a little too many iterations, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think the core.
Yeah, that's true.
I think the core should be just very close to clipped.
Okay.
But that's just me. I mean, what do you guys
think? Now let me go back to, because he was asking to see the other image. So if I go back to my other image, and this was 2019. I did this one in 2020. Okay, so last year or so.
Aaron has a wife like mine. She beats him up.
So here, this one with the Beta Moon and Sky Glow, if I would have probably pushed it a little harder, who knows? Because I can still
bring that
see,
core up.
I don't see.
Zoom in on a little bit. Let's see.
Okay.
So yeah, that core looks better exposed, but like Dan said, it looks a little like washed out.
Yeah.
But the core, that's a good exposure, I'd say. For
that looks good.
Yeah.
Yep.
So 1 minute, so one video, or one picture, I got the core really, fairly decent. The other one, it's overcooked.
Sean,
how do the stars look in that one?
It looks too bad. I mean, they're not too bad.
I think the other one has better color, but I think you might be able to get the colors out of this one as well.
Oh yeah.
But it's just a matter of doing the proper stretching of the stars. And just so I don't know if you saw, Sean offered to take a crack at your data if you want to upload it to him. He'd be happy to kind of take a look at it. So thank you, Sean.
Sure. No, that'd be awesome.
As a matter of fact, Sean gave me a swift kick in the butt, I guess about a week ago. Let me get this back on. And there we go. He gave me a quick...
darks and flats.
I kept on telling him, I said, I don't think my pictures are good enough. That's why I don't put anything up. I don't think they're good enough. I don't think that, I'm kind of like one of those people that is never happy. And I'm sure we all are the same way.
Me, there's points I just don't care.
Yeah.
For me, I'm like, help me.
It's not even helping.
I'm totally open to criticism because it's like, okay, there's things that I can say like, oh yeah, that looks kick ass. I love it. And then I can hear people say, have you tried it this way? Have you tried it that way? Have you taken this, taken this route? Did you do this or that? I'm like, no, I just did it really fast because again, I'm impatient.
Yeah.
I do quick processing.
Well, Sean convinced me to start putting up my images, just no matter what they look like.
Man.
And it's not even about stage fright. I'm a musician, so I put myself on display all the time. I really don't care. But it's just sometimes with my images, I never know when I'm done with them, and they just sit there for years, and I got years of data of finished images that have never made it to the light of day. But I'm going to start putting some stuff up.
I deal with this kind of thing, with other photographers all the time. People will look at some of my terrestrial work, and and they get intimidated. It's like, I could never do that. I said, no. You're looking at it completely wrong. It's not about what I'm doing that is in competition with you. It's about your artistic eye. And if you take your stuff and put it up there, if you don't do that, you're never going to have the advantage of having a group of people critique. You're always going to have those people that are going to be jerks. You're never going to get away from that.
No.
Right. But you're also going to develop a group of people that are going to have a good eye, and they're going to be able to help you. But if you never put that stuff up there, then you're never going to have that. You're never going to be able to
Sure.
absorb that wisdom. So, I encourage people, I don't care if you're shooting with an iPhone or if you're shooting with a $6,000 DSLR, it doesn't make any difference. You're the artist. The camera is a tool, it's a paintbrush. You're the artist.
No, I agree with that, but it's just that it's just for me personally. I just never threw them out there. I always want more data. I want more stuff. I want to put stuff in it. Dude, I don't care. Diminishing returns, to hell with it. Just give me more data. I'll throw it in there and see what happens. I maybe there's no difference between 30 and 40 hours. Who knows? But I'm gonna find out. And and I'll just throw it in there. Will I package the 30 and then look at the 40 and see if there is a big difference? Should I have just gone 30? Yeah, I will.
I'm telling you, don't shoot a 100-hour project because it's going to be the same as a 50-hour project.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I'm telling you that now. Don't do that.
You know what? I'm going to do it once just to do it, to say that I did it.
Yeah.
But not because it's going to make the picture any better. Just to say I put 100 hours into this project.
Yeah.
It took me 4 days to put it through WBPP, and but forget about the 14 days it took to drizzle everything because I'm undersampled. So
yeah.
But to talk more about what you said about like not putting yourself out there because you're intimidated. I found that I did this a little bit when I first started, and comparison is absolutely the thief of joy. Don't do it. And I would, and it happened, I remember after I collected a couple hours on the Rosette Nebula, I processed it to a pink blob and a completely black background with white stars. And I was like, oh man, I can't believe, like, this is awesome. And I posted it immediately, like 30 minutes of processing. I'm like, I'm done. And just criticized. But I'm like, okay. I was like, all right. And then I realized, I'm like, okay, my photos aren't that good. And so I stopped. I was very hesitant as far as sharing them went. But I completely regret that. And I definitely say that be able to take that constructive criticism because you're only going to learn. You're only going to learn. And a way to strive in photography or astrophotography in this instance is to find somebody that you admire as an astrophotographer. Find somebody who has work that you think is achievable as a goal and kind of mimic their post-processing. I don't know if they have tutorials, but just their photos in general. Try to kind of mimic their style, gain influence from their style. And soon enough, after each image, after each iteration of editing, you will slowly pick out the things that you need to improve. And the next time you process, you will, improve upon it. And then you'll find yourself at that level. And you're like, wow, like, in the past 3 months, I got to where I wanted to go. And you see that logged improvement. And then you look and be like, okay, then I really admire this person. I love their work. And try to mimic, at a higher level of photography, somebody who's more talented than you are. And this is kind of the way I started to improve. And it was setting those kind of achievable goals. Don't compare yourself to, Mark Hansen or these
Adam Block.
They're using 24-inch CDKs, and that's not anything that you should compare yourself to.
3-meter scopes.
Refractor. Exactly. Don't just don't do that. Just set goals. Set achievable goals, and you'll be happy and you'll be having fun in the hobby.
Yeah. No, I listen. I completely have fun. I've been doing this for quite a long time, since 35 millimeter film. And, I love doing it. I love doing it. And you know what? The people that I learn from, the people that I look up to, the people that I deal with are the people that I deal with at least twice a week on the show. You guys, all the guys that come on in the chat box, all the girls that show up on the chat, because we do have some women out there as well.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, it's not a guys only club, and I think
not at
I
all.
learn more from reading the chats
Hmm.
in the chat than I do anywhere else. I mean, you know, the ideas that just come out, and that's what makes this collaboration
Yeah.
so interesting
Yeah.
because we get people that are new people that are just waiting for the scopes, like Pooh Bear that's out there, and then all
Hmm.
the way up to people that are big time YouTubers like Sean
Hmm.
Nielsen coming on, hanging out with us. You know, so I
Right.
Yeah.
mean, it's really,
Or
really
Pete
cool.
Pearl, who was here.
Yeah.
Pizza
Pete.
on
Yeah.
there.
Pete was on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, Lydell's there. Lydell's back.
Hmm.
You know, he's
Yeah.
back. You know, I mean, there's a lot of people that in this community that just are just so awesome to
Yeah.
learn from. And it's not like you know, I'm going to cross my fingers here, but so far, out of all the people that have been dealing with that, I haven't seen any jerks yet. So I mean, that's a good thing.
No.
you,
No.
you know,
No.
you know,
No.
everybody's
Yeah. Yeah.
totally cool. Everybody
Yeah.
learns from each other, and everybody wants everybody else to get better. And that's what's
Better.
awesome about this whole thing. And I think that's a
Yeah.
really, really cool
Well, I mean,
community
this
to
is
be a
kind
part
of,
of.
you know, not for nothing, but this is kind of a geek niche, you know. I
Of course
mean,
it
it
is.
really is, you
That's
know.
okay.
You know, the jerks, the ones that want to troll, they don't last in groups like this, you know.
Oh, by the
It,
way, as a side note, not astronomy related.
mm,
How long has AstroWorld as a YouTube page been up there? For a while, right? You know, two and
Yeah.
a half years, something like that. Do you
Yeah. A couple years.
realize that we've gotten our first comment on there? And you know what it said?
What?
Bruh, what WTF? This is not AstroWorld. And everybody was looking for that Travis Scott video.
Travis Scott.
Oh God.
uh,
So it was funny because you know what, in the beginning I had this idea for Astroworld, and I did some research and I did some copyright research regarding it, and
hmm
my goal was to kick at least Travis Scott off the first page with one entry for us, and you know, because he had, if you Googled Astroworld on YouTube, there was about 10 entries. The whole
mm,
first page was Travis Scott.
yeah.
Now if you do that on YouTube, there's 2 entries for us.
Yeah.
So that was a minor victory in itself. So I was very happy about
Yeah,
that.
I had the same problem with my YouTube page, Astro Playground. You know, you Google Astro Playground, Sony PlayStation pops up.
Yep.
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 Yeah, because there's the
Wow.
Astro Playground something or another that's a VR or something
Yep.
to do with the PlayStation. So yeah,
Oh,
it's going
that's
to take me a
funny.
while to work that one through, but
It's
yeah.
just I mean, we're getting a little. It's almost 11 o'clock. So
Yeah.
just to wrap things up for a little bit regarding our upcoming guests. For everybody knows, we did book a new guest. So well, let's just start off on the 17th of November. We're going to be having Warren Keller from Masters of Pix Insight on.
Hmm.
Sean Nielsen's going to be on next Friday, the 5th.
Cool.
Sean Nielsen's going to be on before that. So he's coming back to hang out with us. Then on December 2nd or 3rd, whichever one that was, that Friday, if I remember right. Give me 1 second. Let me pull my calendar up. December 3rd, we got the creator of the Star Aid. His name is Hendrick, and I forgot his last name off the top of my head. And the Star Aid, basically, it's a new product, which is a just all-in-one guider camera, and it's pretty
Hmm.
cool. It's pretty innovative. He's going to talk about it. He's going to give us a rundown of the Star Aid. It's a basically new project that I think came out. Scott introduced me to it
Yeah.
back in April, somewhere in the spring, if I remember right. It looks pretty cool. So he's going to
Yep.
give us a rundown of that. And then on December 17th, we have Amy Astro coming on. That's going to be really cool. And then
Bring on the blonde.
Yep. And then the fourth quarter, I'm sorry, the first quarter of 2022, we're going to have Filippo, Omar, and Tom, all from Prima Luce Lab. They're all going to be on sometime in first quarter of 2022. We also have, and it's been backlogged, I haven't forgotten about it, and I'm going to butcher the name again, Ivanov from APT, the writer of APT, the creator. He's getting ready to come out with a really big release, an update for APT, and he's offered to come on to AstroWorld and give us a rundown on all the new updates of APT that when it comes out. So It was supposed to come out in November. He's still on track, I think, but with software, things could happen. So who knows when it's. Hopefully, it'll be out by Christmas. So somewhere along the way, he'll be on as well. So we're pretty much booked for the next 2 months. you know. So I'm gonna start running out of contacts again. So you guys better help me out a little bit. I mean, we'll have Tom on again. We'll have Ron on again. We'll have Pete Perul will come on again. I'm sure Adam.
Pete Myers.
What? Pete Myers. Pete Myers. That's the other. That's why you're not the new guy. Pete Myers came in after you, Tegan. So Pete Myers is the new guy now.
Gotcha.
So Pete's gonna come on. I think he's gonna be coming on this Friday. He got his laptop fixed. I think I just got a very.
Yeah, his motherboard fried.
Yeah, totally fried. I don't. Yeah, that laptop better be something cool because you know what? If my laptop motherboard fried, I'm just buying a new laptop. I'm not buying a new motherboard.
Yeah, we had a Mac that did that, and I mean the whole motherboard completely fried. The video card, everything. We took it back to the Apple Store, $1,500, and they paid for it.
Yeah, well, that's something else. That if you're covered at the Genius Bar and whatever, and that's great. But if it's just like a regular laptop, I'm not sitting there buying. I'll just call up, Micro Center, give me a new build, and just make it. Be done with it. But all right, it's 11:02. How about we do a little round robin? Final thoughts. Eric, Scott, Tegan. We'll just go around in clockwork.
Yeah. No, I think this was a great show. Even though, we got to stop throwing titles out here that have absolutely nothing to do with
Didn't I just say that? Didn't I say that?
Yeah. We got to stop doing that, man.
Here you go. Here's this. How do you cable management? Get these. There you go. That's the cable management.
There you go.
And lots of this. Lots of Velcro. Velcro. There you go.
Yeah.
That's it.
There you go. Maybe a few zip ties here and there, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah.
Learn how to cut and solder.
Don't have your cables dangling all over the place. You're gonna rip something apart.
Buy an Eagle.
Yeah.
Or an ASI, one or the other.
Get an ASI Air and just keep everything nice
keep it up.
And short. And
up on the scope.
Yeah, that's it. Just keep it up on the scope, not down on on the tripod. Right. Keep it up on the top.
You ZWO users out there that use a nice pretty red cameras, that they always come with these nice super flat, really long USB 3.0 cables.
Throw them out.
Throw them out. Buy
Throw them out.
Smaller ones. Buy 1 footer
Better
or 2 footer, something small. You don't need a 6 foot, unless if you're going to a laptop at a table, which some people are still doing.
Yeah.
Yes. Tegan, go. Oh.
I have a 50 footer going from my mount to my laptop.
Well, no, you have a 50 footer, but it's one cable.
Yeah.
Right? You got like a USB hub or something up there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the 60, it has the USB hub.
Yeah, so I'm talking about these guys that have guider cable, camera cable, focuser cable, mount cable, all this
No,
stuff.
that's
And
okay.
Yeah.
I don't laugh. I don't need to laugh. I did
No.
that, so
I've done. I've done it. Listen,
I was laughing. I was.
I remember when my telescope would slew and my USB hub would go flying off the table. You know, I've been there. You know, it's not. You know, but I'll tell you, the Eagle / ASI Air has completely changed imaging for the better.
It has.
Even if it's just from the aspect of cable management.
Yeah.
But they both do
Yeah,
a
and
crap ton more.
get good cables. You know, Dan's absolutely right. I had the ZWO cables. I was running those things. Couldn't figure out what the hell was wrong with my cameras. It was the damn cables. You know, I went right to Amazon and bought all new cables. But you know, from we got a couple of different.
What cable brands did you get? What, you like
Oh,
mono
there
or
was-
like cables to go, like cables to go, or StarTech or
No,
something
there
like
was there
StarCom?
were a couple of different ones we got, wasn't there, Dan? There were
Well,
two or three different
there
ones.
was Cable Matters, there was StarTech.
Cable Matters was one of them, and StarTech.
Yeah,
StarTech.
there was one more too. I forget what the other cable
Yeah.
was. There was one more.
But ever since I did that, no issues. And you know, for most of those things, you can customize and get little tiny short cables.
Yeah.
You know,
I
if
mean,
you need them.
my Echo cable from the Echo to the, it's like 8 inches.
Yeah, it's like this long.
big. It's like small.
Yeah, I know.
You
I
know?
got the same one.
So
Yeah.
Trip Light.
Yep.
Trip Light makes good cables too. Yeah.
Trip light. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, don't
just so
get the-
everybody
get
knows,
the good
since
cables.
George brought it up, so I'm going to blame it on George. So George brought it up, just need to get the Red Cat 71. So you know, I mean, I'm sorry, Tegan. I know you're a High Point guy. So we're kind of competitors, but not. But whatever.
Whatever.
Camera Concepts is going to have 10 Red Cat 71s in 10 days.
Nice.
So they've
Are they spoken
already
for?
what?
Are they
One,
spoken for?
one is spoken for
One is.
already. One is. And it's not.
What are they,
anybody
grand?
here. What?
1,000?
16.
No.
16. What's 17? 17.
17.
$16.98
Ooh.
is the retail
I
price.
know when
Does that come with a
Dan
field
told me
flattener?
that, I was like, ouch.
No,
Yeah,
It's a Petsful.
it's
It's
a
a
Petsful.
Petsful, so it doesn't need it. So it
Oh.
doesn't need a field flattener.
Doesn't need it.
No.
No, it does need it. It
Does
needs
it?
yeah. It just added.
Maybe these are reduced.
The Petsful, the fourth element is just for better color correction. It's not about.
It's an integrated field
Oh,
flatter.
it's not about
It
that.
is.
It's an
I
integrated
thought it
field
was all
flatter.
integrated.
It is.
Yeah, it should be just like the Red Cat 51.
Yeah.
You don't need a.
Just like the
Oh
Red
shoot!
Cat
I'm thinking.
51.
I'm sorry. My
Just
bad.
like the
My bad.
51.
My bad. My bad.
It doesn't need it. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
My bad. I was thinking about it.
Yeah. But still, 1,600 for 71 millimeters.
Losing my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Yep. What is it? It's 350 f 4.9. I think. If I remember right.
Yeah, I think it's like a 4.9.
That's really not bad for nice wide field.
No, it's not.
Well,
It's not. But
Well, I think the Esprit 80 is what, about the same price.
15.
About the same price.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, you know, I'm used to, you know, lenses that cost arms and legs. I mean, my God, my Nikon lenses most of them are over $2,000 each.
yep.
yeah, but with this one, you know, with the Red Cat series, you know, it's all with, you know, it's got the helical focuser, you know,
Yeah.
and everything. But the one thing is that when I was watching Trevor's video, because William sent him one
Yep.
to review. It's got a on the very end of the helical focuser, you know, on the end of the ring, it's got another smaller ring that you can actually put a band on, so you can put, you know, the EAF, or you can do
Yep.
an autofocuser onto it. Very similar, like what you can do with Rokinund or with the Red Cat 51. So it has an extra little band, you know, that's specific, you know, for, you know, a smaller. I don't remember what to call the band.
Focus
you know, with the
motor?
little teeth. Yeah, so you can put a focus motor. So you can hook up a focus motor to it and run it. Yeah.
Cool.
Is that a specific focus motor, or will any of the box motors work?
It specifically, I think he was referring to the Deep Sky Dad design.
Yeah, Deep Sky Dad designs.
Yeah, the AF3
Yeah.
is what he was talking about. And in all fairness, if you call up Pavel over at Deep Sky Dad, he will make whatever ring that you need for anything. It's 3D printed, and it comes in 2 pieces with a set screw, and it goes
nice.
right around the original. All you gotta do is give him the outside diameter, and he makes kits just like Eric showed with the Rokinon 135. He makes kits for his AF3 and the EAF for ASI Air and the Red Cat with the right
It's like the
belts.
belt-driven deal.
Yep, it's a belt. It looks exactly like the EAF, except it doesn't have that that little. Yeah, it has just the ring.
The drive motor.
Yep, and that's it.
Not the motor, the drive mechanism for the belt.
So it's cool.
Very cool.
All right, Tegan, final thoughts? It's too late. It's time for bed.
No, I guess my final thought, just along with kind of the post-processing conversation that we had, good data is important, and improving your post-processing skills is, I would say, equally as important.
Yeah.
Spend time getting better post-processing. Spend time practicing. Keep editing your data, same data over and over. Achieve better results the next time, and then the next time. And just keep post-processing.
There you go.
Yeah.
Keep practicing, man. Keep practicing,
man.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And
Get a mentor. That's that. When I was coaching, my final thought on that would be, when I was coaching swimming many years ago, I was a head coach for swim teams for quite a few years. I would always take the kids that were really good, and I would put them in with the kids that were really a lot better. That was invaluable, because the kids, the ones that are really good, they get locked in, and they don't have the drive to push on until you put them into the pool with somebody that's a whole hell of a lot faster.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden they start chasing. That's why I'm part of this group, is because I wanted to get into the pool with people that were, faster than I am.
Tarek stole my line. But all right, Frank Luongo, and stop crushing the blacks. Yeah, Frank's been
Keep it gray.
He's been struggling with trying to make the background black, but at the same time losing all of the really cool data that is still there. Yeah, totally.
Better masking.
Yeah.
Use masks on every. I use masks on every single process that I run.
You have to.
Yeah.
You got to. You got.
DBE, baby.
Yeah, that. But I mean, when you want to do just the background, you gotta protect everything else. You don't want to take the blacks down on everything in the entire picture. You just want to do the background and then do that. So you want to do your star mask. You want to do either game script on a galaxy or whatever it is. You got to do all that kind of stuff and protect what you want to protect.
Absolutely.
Yep.
But anyway, we could talk all night, and I think
we just about have.
Yeah. So I'm exhausted. I've been up since 4:30. So I'm I guess that explains why I thought that the Patsville needed a flattener. I don't know. Maybe that was it.
Yeah.
But
and hey, by the way, we got a buyer for the house. So.
Well, you said that last week. I mean,
no. That first deal fell through, from the last time we were on until today, we've had somebody come in and put an offer. They put an offer in on the house, and they offered significantly more money than we were asking. So they really want it.
Nice.
So,
Congrats,
things are good. So
yeah, you'll be surprised with the houses. Everyone's getting over asking. I mean, it's crazy. People like, no, we want it. We'll give you an extra 20. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's happening a lot.
You know,
My
yeah.
real estate agent was telling me about a house that she had on the market. The guy offered $100,000 more than what the people were asking.
Wow.
100 G's.
I'll take $100,000
Can you
more.
imagine what kind of Astro equipment you can buy with that?
Dude, I would
Mhm.
be out of New York. I'd be done. I'd be like, see ya, bye. I'll be back down south again in a second. In a second.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to Florida. You know,
Not that far south. Not that
20.
far south. That's okay. I'll meet you there for Winter Star Party.
Yeah, Bortle 4 and 20 degree or 20s, 21s on the sky meter.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, I think that's about it. Oh, surprise on Friday. Last thing, this is my final thought.
Mm.
Friday night, stay on till the end. Don't wait. I got a surprise for everybody for Halloween. So make sure you stay all the way to the end.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you definitely want to hang out for that.
You want to
Oh.
wait for this.
Oh my God.
It's going to be
This
fun.
should be interesting.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So,
They all
anyway, that's all. And Tegan's already out. He said, I'm out of here.
And I'm done.
But, all right. So that's it. 11:15. We're done. Guys,
Okay.
awesome show. Great job. Thank you, everybody, for coming down. Thank you for everybody for watching. Your comments are outstanding. If we didn't get to any questions, thanks to Eric's nice comment before, we're going to copy and paste and sift through the comments. If I missed anything, we'll bring it up on Friday. So, guys, girls, have a good night. Thank you so much. Remember, as always, keep imaging, keep educating, and clear skies. And we'll see you next time on AstroWorld. Have a good night.
Bye for
See you,
now.
everybody.